Chief Dr. And God bless you.
Thank you. All right. Good morning to you, Mr. Osala. Good morning, comrade in the struggle. The fellow comrade of Biafra. I am very happy to meet you in this August occasion. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. Please, we'd like you to tell us what exactly is happening today.
Today, being 13th of September 2017, we are celebrating the 18th year anniversary for the starting of the struggle of Biafra, Biafra. Before this date, in Nigeria and all over the whole world, particularly in Igbo and among the Igbo, no man, nobody or no group has ever come up to speak about Biafra until Chief Dr. Wazilike comes up to start talking about it. And today we are celebrating the 18th year anniversary to the glory of the name of the Lord.
Thank you. Please, what can you tell us about the principle of non-violence?
The principle of non-violence is what our leader Wazilike studied. It means that it's through non-violence that we actualize Biafra, not by power, not by might, not by the so-called Oguniwe or Shabatri our fathers used in Nigeria Biafra war. And that's the reason why we are using the non-violence to actualize Biafra, and since then nobody has been there has been trouble, but not much that. And with that, you see that there are peaceful people. Look at the people, the crowd of people, hundreds of thousands of people gathering here, and nobody, no security is disturbing them, because the world and the Nigerian security know that we are non-violence.
So finally, what message you have for Biafrans all over the world?
Today, I am encouraging the Biafrans all over the whole world. Very, 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 very soon, the eagle will land. The exodus will begin, and we will actualize Biafra to the glory of the name of the Lord. And that is what I'm showing them, and I'm telling them, keep forward, keep moving forward, be steadfast. Very, very soon, the announcement will come, and we glorify the name of the Lord.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ozala. I can see you in a very high mood.
Thank you.
I will say long live Biafra, long live bim-massob, and long live Chief Dr. Wazilike. God bless you.
Thank you.
All right.
Security under the able leadership of Dr. Wazilike, the second. These are the security men. The Massob being security. They are on parade. September 1992.
Non-violent. I am a go Biafra. In I know maybe Biafra. That Baja Yebe. That Baja Yebe. I am a go Biafra. You go to Bukai, you beg guy. Chineke Megoya.
They were in there.
Coordinator for record and statistics.
Na you come like again.
We come my ekene kwangu.
Yanga juzi no kikita ba ha maka ịgbaga ya ọkụ iji na masọb bi.
Abamu comrade Francis Uchendu Noke, zonal coordinator of Anambra under record and statistics. So obi di muto hinne. And abuwa no more as somebody who knows the VOBI, that is voice of Biafra International. Those who know go and no China no go enter. And we my interview there. So obi di man hinne for never ata mako wazike kwa number za haye mi heba na ya afuko de god unu and afuko muda. Obi di man hinne.
Adam ma to go zege. Onwere nozi nwere ihe nwere na ịkwa no ndị niile ọ dị buka. Maka aya nugo ọtụtụ ihe. O nwere ndị si na chief doctor Afọ waziri ike na ọ nara ga egorie na onwezi ndị na-esi ya. Kedu ihe ị nwere ikwu maka ya?
Ibunu ka anyị na-ebe a taa ụfọdụ ndị Anambra na ndị otu ha na ndị ọzọ na-agba anyị mgba na-ekwu n'ihe anyị bịara ebe a wee bịa n'uto n'obi anọ na nyere anyị ego ka anyị rie n'ọhịa ka anyị ji wee bịa ebe a taa ka anyị wee bịa kọva aha ka e nwee election mana m na-eme ka ha malụ n'ihe anyị bịara abụrụ violence ihe anyị bịa bụ non-violence so na mmechigide anyị bịa jụ na anyị atụ election a create a state of emergency n'obodo a then oge ha anyị enwerizi ahụ anyị eme ndị anyị chọrọ then eme election kwanụ then ihe ọbụla na-aga na mere election anapụ anyị nwe Biafra n'ụwazi ike na onwe ya gwara anyị ibunu na ndị Awụsa na-akpọrọ abịa ebe anyị ma Mustafa ma nke Yoruba Fatima na nke ọzọ na aja niile ihe na-abịa won the purpose of Biafra na ọ bụrụ na ha na-abịa na ọ bụrụ the purpose of Biafra na ha ga-abịa ebe a so that is why onwe ebe oge na-agba mbụ na emere election na Anambra does not mean na ha enwe Biafra even the emere election ọkwa na ebe a cover ihe ata o nwere ABS ọ na ebe a ọkwa Biafra voice of Biafra International na cover gosikwara na anyị na-eteki ground so ede ya ha na-akọwa akụkọ nọ n'ala ego ọ naghị ego agwa ha si ha na nwere ihe na-eme ha klasị ha hapụ ihe ha kụzi n'etu a n'ọdụ na anyị maalụ ka anyị si eji so no one here in ego moina ego no na ego mo no na ego from today go deserve umi ya na after onwe ya afia ihera ya egwu eputezi because of that ifuge mana Chineke mere anyị taa ka anyị na-eme celebration of 18 years anniversary anyị bido tawa afọ anyị nwere onwe anyị nke Chukwu megoro ebere anyị banye n'ime kemgbe 22nd May maka ama m na anyị nọrugo n'ime Biafra ihe anyị na-echezi kịta na-agwụ ka ndị mba ụwa mere anyị approve and I believe na onye isi anyị bịa taa mechaa ihe ọ ya eme na ndị mba ụwa enye anyị approve anyị nwere onwe anyị n'aha Jizọs ihe niile ya aga ọfụma gakwazie karịa ka anyị si tụọ anya anyị na mma na ihe m na-ekwu kịta n'abalị taa mma ndị ya na Voice of Biafra International mara na ihe niile na-aga n'anya adaezi Igbo gburugburu ya nọkwa ebe ahụ ya mara na e nwere good representative na o nwere ihe dị ka so na anyị nwa bụ ndị masọb BIM kwenyeziri ike na non-violence ka anyị hajuo ebe a kịta onwe onye na-aharash onwe ya na-agba egbe mana ite niile achapụzego so Chineke megoro anyị ya ihe niile wee bịa na nchịkọta and I believe na mgbe na-adịghị anya from today n'ihe anyị na-atụ anya kemgbe elu anya aka n'aha Jizọs aka once again bụ Comrade Francis Uchenna Unoke, the zonal director for record and statistics, Anambra North Zone, under Vincent Ilo, Ekene Munu, ndị adunu ndị gobi n'aha Jizọs. Thank you, my friend.
Mụnwa bụ nwanne m nwoke onye a na-akpọ Pastor John Ofiri, onye ọdebe ka mbụ. Onye Chineke kpọrọ sị m na ịbụ my son ekpele maka Biafra na 92 ka ọ gwara m ya ka m nọ na Rivers State oge nwa adị m matakara maka ụwazụ ike maka ọ na-ekwu akwụkwọ Mos chapter 3 verse 7 ọ sị gịnị ka a ga-emere n'ụwa na emepe ụzọ wee mee ka onye amụma ya wee bụ ụzọ mata o wee mee ka m mata maka Biafra sị m ekpele maka Biafra na Nigeria adịgo corrupted wee ma ịta ekpele wee na-ekwu maka Biafra ozugbo m kpesịrị ekpele eluzia na-eye 1990 wee zụta akwụkwọ mma nke ọ na-agba m sị m bịa ka m bịa mobilize ndị mmadụ na maka Biafra nsị a na ha mamụ ka m ga-esi mobilize ndị mmadụ ọ sị m mobilize ba ndị mmadụ wee wele anya nwanne nwoke wee sị na amaghị ọhịa mobilize wee bịa wele aka m mobilize ba ewee mee m world officer so mụnwa nọ under Agurere area under Anthony Egbo so mụnwa bụ onye ọdịbe ka m bụ Pastor John Ofiri ka Chineke gọzie a na-eme ka m hapụ Mazọb wee sị na mma hapụ Mazọb na ka Jesus bụ freedom fighter Moses bụ freedom fighter na onye ọbụla sị ka
my fellow compatriots, fellow Nigerians, fellow Biafrans, our friends, our in-laws, we welcome you this very evening to a special broadcast coming to you from the satellite station of the Voice of Biafra International, coming to you right away from Germany. Today we have a very special guest speaker. I will get him introduced. But first, we have to honorably pay homage to the bim-massob family under the leadership of Chief Dr. Rafu Uwazirike, who has made it very, very possible for us to use this particular Voice of Biafra International to bring in our people together, despite ideological or philosophical leanings. We are not here day by day to insult or disparage any individual. We are here to pay honor and dignity to the individual person, no matter where you come from and no matter your status in the society. Ours is to build bridges, to extend the olive branch, to find amicable solution to our numerous problems so that together we can live as one. This is the mission of the Voice of Biafra International. And on the strength of this, we reach out to our people and say, this is your voice at all times. And we are saying right now to all our people who are resident in any part of the world, to those of you in the States, we are saying good afternoon. To those in Asia, we are saying good morning. To those in Africa, particularly Nigeria, now we are saying good evening. And in the same vein, to those in Europe, we are saying good evening. This live broadcast is streaming right now on Facebook, YouTube, and satellite simultaneously. I am Ikenna Obibi Egolo, your moderator. With me right now on the studio, although linking from different parts of the world, are Uche Digi, right now in Accra. Uche, can you say please hello to our special guest before I come to introduce him? Uche Digi, are you there? While Uche Digi is taking over, Uchenna Okeke, please could you say hello to our special guest? He's right now online with us. And tell us where you are.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my dear brother. This is Uche Digi speaking. I'm calling from Ghana. I extend my greeting to all Biafrans all over the world and our chief in charge, the pilot leader of Biafra, Chief Dr. Rafu Uwazirike, and all his leaders and all Nigerians, our neighbors. I greet you all in the name of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Uche Okeke, tell us where you are and say hello to our special guest, Major Hamza Mustafa.
Good evening, this is Uchenna Okeke calling from Makurdi, Benue State.
Thank you very much.
I want to greet you, our guest speaker today, Major Hamza Mustafa. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Then Jude Chijoke, tell us where you are calling from. Make it very, very brief.
Yeah, this is Jude Chijoke. I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria. I would like to say thank you and welcome Major Hamza Mustafa. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Ume Masilinos.
Yeah, good evening. Our guest speaker tonight is the person of Major Hamza Mustafa. I am Ume Masilinos, speaking from Lagos, Nigeria. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Ugonti Valentine.
Biafrans and Nigerians, you are all welcome tonight. I also want to come up.
Okay, we cannot hear you very clearly. Ozronye Francis, are you there?
Yes, good evening.
Okay, where the services structure? Okay.
This was every person calling from Lagos.
Thank you very
much. To meet here today. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. And then Louis' response, I don't know if you can hear me from wherever you are right now. So, fellow members of the crew, you are welcome to the program. Now, to our special guest, Major Hamza Mustafa is a household name in Nigeria. At a time in our history, He was indeed the undisputable chief security officer to our late head of state, General Sani Abacha. As an officer then, Major Hamza Mustafa was very, very brilliant, a loyal subordinate to the commander-in-chief, and indeed a character to emulate. While he was there, he discharged his own duties creditably that the world envied him. He is a courageous man, very, very fearless, indeed bold, and when he moves, very, very intimidating. He moves in the image of an important executive. Although he appears very, very humble, Major Mustafa is somebody, when he talks, the world listens to him. Like I said, he is a household name, very, very awe-inspiring. He doesn't need much introduction. Presently, he has been moving from place to place in the whole of Nigeria, canvassing for peace, for everybody to come together as one united family. Despite religious, social, cultural, or historical differences, he wants a Nigeria for all. Even though this is a time when various architectures are springing up here and there in the federation, he is never relaxing, but moves on and out to make sure there is peace, there is sanity in the system. To all our listeners this evening, our special guest right now is Major Hamza Mustafa. Major Hamza Mustafa, you are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
You're welcome, sir. Now, we are telling all our callers, nobody should call right now until we are through with the questions and he has given us answers. Then you shall be free to give your call and ask questions on the issues you did not quite understand. But where you understood, you don't need to call again to make your voice known, except you want to thank him for the job well done. Now we go into the discourse proper. Major Hamza Mustafa, sir. Presently in Nigeria, there are a series of national consciousness springing up from here and there, all being manifested through uprisings. In the east, we have Biafra. In the west, we have Odua Congress, otherwise the OPC and Co. Each group agitating for, agitating for their own states. While in the north, we have the Boko Haram that is trying to establish a new caliphate. In all, each of the groups is complaining of perceived imbalance in the Nigerian system. Now, sir, is there anything you think the central government is not doing well that is giving rise to these numerous agitations in the country?
Well, my brother, I thank you for bringing me to this very important topic. At the same time, I thank you for the support. In governance, away from rhetoric, there are responsibilities on the shoulders of leadership. And then meeting the yearnings of the people as promised during campaign are fundamental issues that serve as a contract between people and leaders. So if there are imbalances today and people are crying out, in democracy they are right. The various organs of government, state and the federal, are there for people to channel all their grievances so that they can be attended to. But the issues or the groups you talked about now particularly are interested
and the one in Southeast. Southeast, actually, the agitation I am aware of clearly rests on security of lives and property of individuals anywhere in Nigeria. I am also aware of social justice and then equality. These are the three major things I know because so if there are agitations in a young democracy, it is only, but if there are public, as far as religion is concerned, these are the three major issues that I raised up. Can you hear me, my brother?
Yes, we are listening to you, sir.
Except that there is also going on.
Okay. Now, sir, there is a general complaint, especially from the southeast, south-south, southwest, and the north central. And this general complaint is that there is over concentration of power and privilege at the center, that is Abuja, without proper devolution of power to component regions of the federation. And this over concentration of power is drawing the country backwards because career is not given to talent because of this, what do you call it, trying to bring everyone together by force. Yes. Now, this Abuja knows it all and has it all. Is not in the interest of the federation at all. So, is there anything anybody stands to lose if power is devolved to component regions in Nigeria as it was in the 1960-63?
You remember the early 90s, a similar exercise was on devolution of power. The constitution was established and they told around the country. This was also incorporated in 1992. But the issue we are talking about is that of understanding of what they get to do. Now, devolution of power, as it is in Nigeria, it has to do with marginalization. That is the language we use. It is another thing that looks about the need for devolution of power. And this now becomes the current issue in the southeast, southwest, and north central, where traces of imbalance on the scale of governance is identified. That is what you are talking about. All I can say here is that I am part and parcel of social justice to the people. Remember, Nigeria will go to 6. That was an assignment we did to balance the scale in the 90s. Creation of states and creation of additional local government, making a government of the reform was an exercise we were involved in. We were involved into the Constitution of 1998. But unfortunately, the same Constitution that we arrived at was adopted in 1999. A major increase to meet the needs of some certain people so that it can meet their end for 1999. One more shocking information here is that Justice individuals are the right people to be consulted as and when the need comes, and as to why the original constitution was not presented or it was allowed to be done. So, my brother, the issue of marginalization is to me a creation of greed of a certain class that must be addressed squarely and without them. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, that is a very good information you have given to us now. That there was a constitution, the country was to be used, but unfortunately, this very constitution that would have accommodated the interests of every part of the federation was doctored in 1999. That's what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh, that is a very wonderful information, honestly. You see, the essence of having you here to enlighten our people more. Because there are times our people begin to complain against a particular section of the country without indeed understanding the subterranean problems inherent in the system. But we are indeed happy that you have given us a very wonderful information, which right now very many people are listening to, and it's good to have this from you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, recently, the Northern Elders Forum stated that, of course, they made it unambiguous, that the country is not working. Just like in the East, Biafrans are saying, in the West, the Odua people are saying, that Nigeria is not working. That after more than 100 years, we are still complaining and being suspicious of one another. Since the country is not working, that it will be appropriate for us to dissolve the country amicably. What is your take on this, sir?
First of all, my brother, the Nigeria I was born to study and to have matured into my present experiences, I know this is one strong, promising, rich country that will not only provide leadership to Africa, but leadership to the whole world. Our diversity is strength. Allowing greed of a very tiny people out of the 180 million plus cannot be pushing us around. So now they seem to be off the course. The fundamental issue here is that of national use for us to harness the resources God Almighty has given to us. My brother, oil and agriculture are the two things we have tapped into earn our independence. But look at the entire eastern flank of Nigeria, northeast, southeast, south, and Bakassi. What God Almighty has planted in these sectors will not only enrich Nigeria, empower Africa, but it will also serve the whole world, and Nigeria, with that, scientifically can provide a platform for Nigeria to provide leadership to the world. I'm talking to you scientifically at the same time.
Yeah, that is very, very important, because everybody knows, not just Nigerians, but the international community knows that Nigeria is stinkingly rich and can sustain the entire population for centuries without complaining. But unfortunately, these resources, the royalties from our resources, are concentrated in a few individuals. And these individuals siphon these resources abroad. In some of the Western banks, we have billions and billions of our resources stashed away by these politicians. What our people are crying is that what efforts, what moves must we make to make sure that we stop all these criminal politicians from stealing our resources and siphoning all these things to abroad, leaving our people poor? What measure do you think we can adopt the youth to put an end to this mess?
Okay, my advice here is unit of purpose. In our division comes weakness. In us arising at the direction that unify us to face any common objective will give us the strength to overcome it and provide solutions. I am one of them that has been very disturbed about what the greedy class has been doing in destroying the earth. We don't accept that. But an up and down until we come together, identify the problem, be on the platform, and then channel our energy therefrom and scientifically take steps. Because today in Nigeria, the judiciary is virtually due to an arm of government, very vital though, but then providing, I have no doubt remember, providing absolute service to Nigeria, but the greedy class knows how to go about it. A way
yes.
And all other forces that promote insurgency in the land are the vices bedeviling Nigeria.
Now,
so my brother,
yes.
This very question you are talking about is the bone in the neck of every big European group. The end cares about Nigeria comes out and have before us to unite and use the process of the law to give birth to a new Nigeria that will ensure social justice, security of life and property, and equality of opportunities open for all of us as Nigerians.
Okay, now that's very easy. What you have said now indeed is an eye opener. That much as some of these greedy cliques are there manipulating the entire system, not minding how the poor people, the ordinary man on the street suffers. A time shall come when we have to put our acts together and ask them certain questions. Because we cannot fold our arms and these greedy people continue to siphon the resources meant for the entire Nigerian population, and we find it unacceptable. Now, sir, some of the statements that fuel the agitation is this. There are people in authority, when they want to make statements, they make it in a way that will be very, very provocative to whoever hears them. In the recent past, the governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, made a statement that the East and the North can never be equal in anything, even in resources, in whatever standard. Granted that the North is more populous than the East, from the current census we have now, but is that enough reason for somebody like El-Rufai to come to here and tell the East face to face that it can never be equal with the North? Does this type of statement all go well in a society where agitation is springing up day by day, sir?
My brother, all I say to this statement that it is most unfortunate. Any person that undermines any part of the country is not to be trusted with leadership, no matter who he or she is. Remember, my brother, in the 90s, we said Nigeria. There were numerous Nigerians, and many of such persons are not aware, or they have not even bothered to study why Nigeria was built. Numerous reasons to make Nigeria stronger and to take leadership closer to the poor, so that we can harness what we have systematically, scientifically, back on course as rich countries providing leadership in this. But many people are very ignorant as to what in Nigeria and who Nigerians are, and then the resources to each people, and then understanding a formula of utilizing it to bring this country on the platform of riches for it to connect with the positive. So for anybody to be a position of leadership and then to come and now be achieving another riches, it just tells me that these are the liabilities we have, unfortunately, into the poverty.
Now, thank you very much, sir. Now, there's one particular question that tends to bother the minds of our people. Back home in the East, let me say Biafra land, is a kind of divided opinion. Now, some time ago, there was a statement coming from the chairman or the president of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, Alhaji Shetima Yerima. Of course, we had an interview with him some weeks ago, giving the entire Igbos quick notice, but which was later withdrawn. But the very time that particular quick notice was issued, you were indeed instrumental to a meeting held at Arewa House, whereby Chief Owazike was invited. In that meeting, you and Chief Owazike were able to diffuse tension. If not for that particular meeting, the country would have been thrown into a conflagration, which nobody would have been able to control. Now, sir, could you tell our people what informed the reason for making sure that there is peace in the land and that the quick notice would not hold or a kind of reprisal attack in the East?
First of all, my brother, when God Almighty granted to peace between the people, God gave us the direction in bringing leaders of all ethnic groups to Owerri. First, we attended Lecture of Youthful Anniversary, and then at that same time, I led all the ethnic leaders with our people up of the where we designed something called Owerri Declaration, ensuring that southerners in the north are guaranteed safety and security in pursuance of their life, and vice versa in the south. We are all signatories to that narration. So therefore, at any point in time, an Igbo man is taught, we are directly taught, and we cannot have even system. And so also in the south, the Ijele was looking, has been on it, ensuring and protecting people in the south. I remember when we now came up with the word declaration, some of these were quick to say that together is trying to protect forward. We didn't look at that. So we were driven when the northern youth now gave the quick notice, which was a direct reaction of what Kanu did. So thank God the Israelis came with me along the top edges. We now came to Kaduna to area house to be specific about a very strong message, which is a portion of the Oneri Declaration. We also went to meet the Northern Elders and passed the same message. And we were ready on our own to take any other step and then to step and make sure that Nigeria is in peace, irrespective of what any member of the greedy class they wish to do. Because some other information came to us that some certain people were saying that to both sides to insinuate crisis in Nigeria. Maybe some of them are different government and they believe that is the way to come back. But as far as we are concerned, up to this moment, I'm very proud to tell you that the leadership of the Israelis is very exemplary, and we are always ready to hold hands together. All ethnic groups that with whom we stand for declaration of 2013, we are ready to forge ahead, unite Nigeria, overcome obstacles, and then keep this country afloat. Using political structure in future, our intention is uniting Nigeria, north and south, men and women, so that we can now take more steps in pushing people who are able and capable, who are patriotic, to assume position of leadership, so that we can now contain this great class who knows nothing other than mixing and destroying Nigeria, other than propagating messages of hate, other than feeding themselves with stolen and starting an out of Nigeria. Nigeria has no anything other than this class. And that's why we are calling on the youth men and women to get educated and get accepted using the law and the provisions in our electoral act, so that the power will come to the hands of people, men and women.
Thank you very much, sir. Now that brings us to the issue of Biafra agitation. Back in Biafra land now, the eastern part of Nigeria, there are two major groups agitating for Biafra. Let me say the pioneer group is the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra under Chief Rafu Wazirike, and his own philosophy is non-violence. In the last interview he granted one particular television station, he said that Biafra has two faces. The two faces are: one, what belongs to every Nigerian should be shared to Nigerians equally. Let nobody be cheated. And the second phase of Biafra is when you say that I will not get my own share, then we talk Biafra. And that is it. The other side of the divide is Nnamdi Kanu, who is very, very uncompromising. Now, sir, from your own assessment of the two groups, the Ijele Ndigbo group, Massob, and the Nnamdi Kanu group, let me say confrontational to an extent, which has led to the Nigerian government branding and the entire people terrorists. What, sir, in your own assessment, what do you have to say between the two sides in this our Biafra struggle?
My brother, first of all, Massob is the only recognized force we are working with at this moment and in the future. Anybody that comes up to now fight for social justice, equality, security of lives and property is a body that is operated legally at home and at international. Coming to the confrontation to fight, to destroy, is a movement that we will not accept. Ralph is providing leadership that is worthy of emulation, that I know the Indigo will appreciate today and forever. One fundamental is to hear. These three basic issues that I talked about are, after all, what even the best government, state governments and local governments are fighting for their people. So, fighting for social justice is the responsibility of leadership. All institutions will recognize, respect, and appreciate. So this is one more said. I cannot, alongside with all those opportunities, from north to south, to support those who will now promote violence, destruction, as a means of Mato work along with us in this moment for and on behalf of individuals. The question here is, we are talking of one country. We are not talking about this country. So to those who are even promoting marginalization are people who have been doing that for their personal interest, and we have that because so equality, social justice, security of lives and property are what we are standing for, alongside with myself in protecting, promoting, upholding, and defending the interests of individuals. Every individual, old or young, they are all Nigerians. They are our brothers and sisters. What we want to be seen today is a northerner standing firm to die for individuals and vice versa. When we get to understand this faith in all of us, I tell you, Nigeria will be the platform of exemplary leadership in the international scene.
That is very true, sir. Honestly, you hit the nail on the head. Now, there is one thing that is very, very certain. Britain, or United Kingdom rather, exited the EU, European Union, through referendum. Right now, Scotland is trying to exit the United Kingdom through a referendum. Catalonia is trying to exit Spain through a referendum. Kurdish people have conducted their own referendum. Hong Kong is trying to conduct a referendum. Each and every of these countries or nations, let me say, is trying to exit the main body through a referendum. And this, let me say, in Nigeria is what some people are saying insofar as there is marginalization, but when everything is working fine, no problem. Now, sir, in Biafra land, some people are advocating for that, others are saying no. Bearing in mind that the best way to achieve independence is through non-violence, as is the philosophy of the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra. Please, sir, what advice do you have for Biafrans in particular on the best way to pursue this our agitation for the Nigerian context?
My brother, I'm going to start from the submissions of legal. First of all, how old is Nigeria? Second, let us wait first. Allow the young Nigerians with the marriage of convenience between the young one from the south east and their brothers and sisters from the north, attain power, and so that we can now operate. And then let's see whether in the absence of all the vices being suspected against, Nigeria will not do that. And to exemplary provide leadership. When the environment minus the greedy club, there won't be any need for any Nigeria or citizens. Even if we do right now, it will be a source of regret because of the potentiality that exists. You know, Nigeria is divided in the 6 that we are divided. Every single zone has special qualities that the greater country, I'm referring to people, are trying to have. But we are yet to harness. Our major problem is the class that has been destroying our debt, whom I told them as farmers. They continue to eat the soil, yet they remain farmers. It is when we get out, apply the right legislation, using laws of the land, getting termites out of our main public, then we continue to suffer. It is not an easy task, but we need to unite, define our purpose, and take steps forward. And I tell you with all respect, with all sense of humility, you are going to have a Nigeria that the entire Africa will envy, indeed the world. So the agitation we are talking about, my brother, requires a very rational, well articulated, so that we can understand who we are and where we are. We cannot, because of greedy class, have over the years exploited Nigeria. Then we can just come and say we should divide that sector, rather than using the law and our unity, our number, for us to keep them aside and chart a new course of leadership in Nigeria that will provide social justice, equality, and security of our people and properties across Nigeria. That is all that is missing. So you cannot say 5% are committing the offense and the remaining 180 million people will now go for a breakup for the offense of a tiny little few. That doesn't make sense. Now that we know the problem, we also can appreciate the solution. What is stopping us in accepting the solution? To me, that is the first point. It is not right because your hand has an increase only for you to now carry a cutlass or best thing to do is to cut it off. And in that there is solution. If you cut the hand off, what becomes of you if the next young festival where excellent competition comes? Then you are a destitute concept. That's what I'm talking about. When you look for the solution and you take steps to provide the solution.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, there is one last question I'll ask you before we throw the floor open to our numerous listeners. And that is this.
Okay.
From here and there, and it goes across the nation, some people are clamoring for the youth to rise and take over leadership of the country for reasons that the older generation has failed and failed us woefully. So, your own person with your own, enviable characteristics, and as somebody who truly loves the nation and wants the nation to move forward, to be a reference point in the whole of Africa, what efforts, sir, what efforts are you making to make sure that you go around the federation and bring the youth together for a better nation?
My brother, right from when God Almighty granted us freedom, we did not stop at one declaration alone. We toured around Nigeria and consulted with youth associations, politicians, elite and technocrats, traditional rulers, women associations, and academia. We decided out of this to come up with a political party meant for the classes of Nigerians that we have identified to have been the one content. So since 1956, women were the most exploited, and democracy all this while never treated them right. So second is youth, men and women. For numerous reasons, we identified youth, men and women as the class of Nigerians we should invest in fully for Nigerians tomorrow. Second, is people with disabilities who unfortunately are not properly recognized in our laws, being treated fairly. The moment people become disabled, for many social people created by this same greedy class, a person to just declare that unfortunately with little or nothing. The fourth is the poor, that is the people across Nigeria, who unfortunately are the carpenter everybody works in. And lastly, our heroes, living people. People have served Nigeria, but unfortunately are recruited at the wrong side of us, while on the other hand, enemies of Nigeria, the greedy class, are the people that are now being eulogized and honored in our history, most unfortunately. So we have created a party called Green Party of Nigeria to give opportunity for these 5 classes of Nigeria. And then we also have created Green Institute that will give the think tank services to the Green Party, as well as synergize with international institutions so that the youth, men and women, peasants, youth, and our patriots can utilize the forum to climb to position of power, north and south, to ensure security of life and property, social justice, and equality.
Exactly, sir. Now, please, don't be offended. Let me take there's one question that comes up now. There's a caller wrote in, asking for this question to be taken before I keep the floor open for them. Election is coming up in Anambra State on the 18th of November this year. In this very election, Some people are campaigning that our people should boycott that particular election. Others are saying we must conduct this election because for us to boycott it, there must be consequences. What advice, sir, do you have for Anambra people, pointing out the consequences or otherwise of conducting or boycotting this election on November 18th?
My brother, irrespective of how you look, this emphasizing is irrespective of situation in any given country, it's an offense. People must be allowed to do nothing. Boycotting the election will not give you enough access to the leadership they want. If they now boycott the election by the over the technicality party, you are inviting a state of emergency in the state. But that's not right. In fact, it might not be present. It's not. Let people come forward. Now do away with basic practices of rigging, of abusing, and identify with their choice who are capable and who have ability to provide leadership who are not free. But never any decision out of anger. No matter how you look at it, when people become so, then they will know that that is informed by anger. That's why take away some, bring rational reason, and then become and.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. One thing I have to make clear to all our listeners is this. We are conducting this interview for us to hear from somebody like Major Hamza Mustafa as an experienced person who knows the ins and outs of everything in Nigeria. We are indeed agitating for a separate republic because of the perceived marginalization. Ordinarily, the ordinary Biafran, ordinary Igbo man wants a united Nigeria. That is why where every day we go, we establish a home. We put up a home. Everywhere in the north, you have Igbos there. Everywhere in the west, you have Igbos there. We would have been quite satisfied with a united country. But when somebody comes out to say he will give some people like 7%, others 5%, or World Bank project should be concentrated on one area to the detriment of the other. These are the things that spring up agitation. And until all these factors are taken care of, and make sure that every segment of the Nigerian society benefits from our royalty, things will continue to fall apart. This is what we have to say. Now, thank you very much, Major Hamza Mustafa. You have really given us a lot to consider in the hereafter. It is an eye-opener. Most of the things you have informed us, and we are going to appraise them after this particular program. Fellow Biafrans, from the satellite station of the Voice of Biafra International, this live broadcast is coming to you from Germany. So, the floor is open. If you want to ask Major Hamza Mustafa a question, please make it very, very brief. If you don't have any question, you can comment him, and then we'll move on to the next person. Make it very, very brief. And in asking your questions or making comments, please, gentlemen and ladies, dear listeners, we must be guided by simple ethics. Nobody, let me make it abundantly clear, nobody should use dirty language. Of course, we don't expect that, because this Voice of Biafra International, we don't disparage or insult anybody, no matter the seeming differences you might have with the person. We accord honor, dignity to everybody. Moderate your language, ask your questions, and then the world, mind you, everybody is listening. This live transmission is getting to every part of the world, and millions are listening. So the floor is now open. If you want to ask a question, you give us your name and tell us where you are calling from. Hello, dear friends, the floor is open.
Hello, you can.
Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, this is Jude Chijoke. I am calling from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you once again, Major Hamza Mustafa. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Actually, I don't have any question, but I would like to commend you for the efforts, towards ensuring that there is peace in the land. Because I know how or what the country could have been for now, but due to your efforts and the order of your colleagues, they were able to calm everything down. Now, let me make just a simple reference. Alhaji Yerima Shetima was our guest one certain time, not quite long. He promised to ensure that the youth movements, most especially the South and the North, for them to come together for a common goal, which is going to be a peaceful. So I don't know if you are a key to that. Thank you, sir.
I think it's the question, right?
Yes, what he said is this, that some time ago when we interviewed Alhaji Shetima Yerima, he promised that efforts will be made towards mobilizing the Nigerian youth towards a common purpose to make the country better. He is asking if you know or if you are aware of that, of this particular move.
Okay, thank you for the question. In the real sense of it, it is my plan and I'm still working it. I have spoken to all of them. A time will come when the youth from the north and south will assemble at a particular point to discuss the future that will be favorable to Nigerians away from the thinking of the greedy class. We are still going off to Benjamin, and then we'll make sure that some selected organs of security are also informed so that we will not have any information from the misguided class.
Exactly. That is true. Next caller, please. Thank you, sir. Next caller, please. Yeah, okay, okay, take over the floor.
All right, thank you so much. This is Uchenna Okeke calling from Makori, Benue State. First of all, I want to appreciate our guest speaker in the person of Major Hamza Mustafa. I want to sincerely appreciate you for coming. And I want to ask you some questions. I have one or two questions to ask. The first is this: you have played very important role in the government system of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, right from when you worked with our former head of state, that is General Sani Abacha, who is late now. And I want to believe that you are inside the government of the Federation, and you know how things work in this country. I want to believe that. I heard you very well from your comments when Ikenna asked you a question, and you made some certain references, and they made your point clear. And you have spoken like the true Nigeria. My question now is this. Are you saying that, from your comment, are you saying that agitation for cessation from a favorite body is wrong? If no, I want to say that because you have mentioned and I have witnessed, you have been our guest right from when we are operating bim-massob, when we are operating from Okiwe. You have been our guest in Okiwe. You have been our guest at Owerri. You also been our guest at Iri. You have been in Iri. This are Biafra land, and we have had different discussions with you. Now you know the stand of Chief Dr. Raf Wazirike in respect of bim-massob. The massob, the name is very clear, and it's a statement when you are interpreting them. Now, Chief Dr. Raf Wazirike, he started in this movement, massob movement, since 1999. And since then, when he made this note to the Federation of Nigeria, nobody, the body of Nigeria has never for one day called him and said, young man, how do you do this? Now, I am speaking from the voice of cessation. That is, if you agree. Now, I'm talking to you, sir, Alhaji Major Mustafa. I am talking to you now. If of a truth you are in support or you believe in cessation from a corporate body, now, where is it that Nigeria Federation has never called Chief Dr. Raf Wazirike and sit him down and discuss on a modality in a way in which we can separate ourselves peacefully? Because I want to know that in this country, you said that our constitution that was given to us by our colonial masters has been doctored in 1999, and too many steps have been taken.
Make it brief. Make it brief, please. Make it brief. Many callers are online. Make it brief.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Many people's steps has been taken to correct all those errors, and Nigeria as a federation is not yielding, and the youth are coming up. And I am not seeing an avenue whereby they allow the youth to come in. Sir, what do you have to say on the side of cessation? Are you in support of cessation from the corporate body, sir? Thank you. That's my question.
So can you simplify the question?
Yeah, what he made, the question precisely is, since you know what is going on in the federation inside out, and bearing in mind that due to some sense of marginalization, this agitation is springing up here and there. He is asking, are you in support of secession? If not, what efforts could be made to forestall the possibility of any country, any side, saying we want to go?
My brother, secession is an action of weakness. A one united Nigeria strategically presents a country that is a solid force as against the fragmentation. Second, I am of the view that our brothers and sisters in Southeast should understand that exploitative class have really gone compromising the welfare and well-being of the poor. When it comes to that, even the North too is crying out. I have gone to the 6 zones, I have gone to every state in Nigeria, and I protested and lost. And we have documented our findings, and we have to be sincere. If I can tell you with all sincerity what we have documented, my advice is very simple. Let's get united. let's look at it as typical the current experiences. I tell you with all sense of humility would be a thing of the past. I'm fit to break it forward that one let him Chukwumeka Ojukwu was alive. We worked together with him, and now we've got the first 6 years. Throughout his stay in Abuja, I worked in the attempt between him and the government of that time. In fact, 2 things were provided by me. At the same time, the Indigo company, that's the Igbo traditional movement, for the entire 5 years, had me as a quiet liaison, working with less every night, working for the Southeast. So if I can add what I to that and what was known now, then my brother, I tell you, the issue of succession is not advisable. Rather, what is advisable is identifying the problem as we have done and now working towards the solution. And I tell you, Nigeria will be very, very rough. It will be worthy of emulation, not only by sister countries, but many countries around the world who are having civilized.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, next caller online. Next caller, please. Yeah, Sonny Babo, are you there? Okay.
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you.
Yeah, good evening, our dear brother and all dear friends once again. This is Uche Duji calling from Ghana. Dear brother Alhaji Mustafa, I highly welcome you in this today's edition in this program. It is my pleasure to have you within us. To my own understanding, for I have represented some group of people in our society. For my own opinion, and for that particular people, I try to centralize. I try to tell the way forward in our society. I found out.
Yeah, please, Uche, hold on, please, Uche, please hold on, Uche, please hold on, please. Professor Francis DK right now is online with us. Professor, hello, welcome to the program. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Professor, sir, we are right now online with Major Hamza Mustafa. He has been taking questions from us on national issues and as they concern Biafra. Right now, he's online with us and he is listening. You promised to ask him some questions, sir. What do you have to say him, Professor, sir?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Like I said now, right now online with us is Major Hamza Mustafa is online with us. He has been taking questions from us on the Nigerian issues and the Biafra agitation. Right now he's online with us and he's listening. What questions or probably advice do you have to offer in this regard? He's right online with us, sir, and he's listening.
Are you asking me to say something?
Yes, yeah, exactly. You know, you promised last time that during the course of the program, you will have few things to say.
Well, obviously, let me just point out that it was not possible for me to listen in.
Okay.
And I was quite sure that he's making a statement.
Yes.
And that it is quite clear that our people are not happy about the general declassification of IPOD as a terrorist group.
Okay, sir.
If the federal government has a problem with the father and his group, then they know the particular people to identify and then classify them as terrorists. At the moment we're in court with them, and they cannot, mix both over the court matter and then classify the whole of the indigenous people of Biafra. I want to congratulate Major Hamza for being bold to speak on such an issue. And I wanted to know what is his own opinion on this.
Honestly, he has taken questions on that, and he condemned outrightly every step taken by the government that is not in the interest of the people. And he has made it abundantly clear that he has to move around the federation to make sure that anything that is not in the interest of the people must be stopped. And the yearnings of the people are accommodated. Any mistakes in the system must be corrected. This is what Major Hamza Mustafa has been telling us all along. And he is here right now to respond to what you have just said. Major Hamza Mustafa, sir, Professor Francis Dike is the attorney. He was, let me say, is a former Attorney General in Imo State during the Ivan Egorem regime. And presently, he is a lead attorney in the case between Biafra and Nigeria at the High Court. So, first of all, he has congratulated you for being bold, courageous in speaking the truth at all times. What he's asking is that because of mistake of one man, that is Kano, who used the name IPOB, so Nigerian government had to prescribe, tag a whole lot of people, every Igbo person, as terrorists. He is now complaining that it is not good, and he is asking you, do you subscribe to the idea that because of the sins of one man, Kano, a whole lot of people, the Igbos, will be described as terrorists?
My brother, first of all, I don't think the Igbos were described as terrorists. The little I know was that Kano was declared a terrorist. That is much I know. And after all, there are crimes being committed in all parts of the country as it is in the world every day. It's normal with human beings. But then, calling the entire I don't think I was anything like that. But those in authority are the ones with the right and the information they have but tonight. But Igbo land and Igbo leaders and our contemporaries are part and parcel of us. We are all Nigerians. In Igbo land, we have our fathers and mothers and brothers and uncles whom we can stand to fight for, just as it is. The Igbo land care for, stand for, and to protect it. Our relationship with the Ijene was rooted. Our relationship with him or the Metro Duty, our relationship with Lake Igwe Nag, that brought some of us to the Igbo land as our home. Speak for itself, and this is Igbo land will see. This will protect and stand for any day, anytime. We are brothers, so differences shouldn't come. Rather, making amends and looking for solutions and taking them boldly but scientifically must be done in the interest of everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. Professor Dike, you heard what he said. He responded accordingly. We want a nation where everybody's interest should be accommodated and where nobody, because of the mistakes of one man, should be tagged, terrorists. That is what he has just said now. And before he came into the program, he has been informing and promising that efforts are still being made to make sure that the use in the land and the responsible elders should come together to make sure that we salvage this nation, to forestall such possibilities that spring up agitations. Because it is these things that make people to say, we want to go. But in a state where everybody is happy, all this will be a thing of the past. Come to Germany, from where we are broadcasting now, is a kind of federal system. They answer the same Germany, but each component is operating on its own, and there is a true federalism. People are happy. They use the resources of their country to provide for their citizenry. But in Nigeria, like Major Hams and Mustafa had just said now, some greedy people don't want others to survive. Professor Sir, before you came to the program, there was a very wonderful revelation by Major Hamza Mustafa. He said that the 1999 constitution was imposed on us. During the Abacha regime, there was a particular constitution that was unembracing, something that would have helped the entire people, a kind of constitution that would have helped Nigeria to move forward. But unfortunately, it was doctored and an imposition was given to us for the 1999 edition. Professor, sir, you are in the legal field. You should know better on this. It's an information to you. Thank you very much, Major Hamza Mustafa, for providing answer to that. Now, Uche, DG, you were asking the question, but please, Uche, make it very, very brief. Make it very, very brief. Okay, hold on, please. Uche, make it very, very brief. Go on, Uche, DG.
Okay, my able brother. Without any waste of time.
So, thank you, Professor, sir. We shall reach you back again.
Thank you, sir. I'm very grateful, and I compliment you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir.
Now,
Can I go on?
yeah, go on, Uche.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. To make it brief, my brother Alhaji Mustafa, it's my pleasure to meet you, to be on this program with you. My questions or advice is this. I myself, on what you have said, working together as one would have been possible for the past 20 years or 30 years ago. I, as a person, I would like in a situation.
Yeah, Uche, stand in a place where we can hear you clear, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please make it very, very brief. Many callers are online. Make it brief.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, the struggle we are into, because if you move to any villages today, whatever you ask the youth, they will tell you that because of the way Nigeria is being have been ruled or managed, they are tired of being part of Nigeria. That is why you have even the Boko Haram in the north. You have in the Republic like that. We Biafrans, as a particular, we are saying that we are tired and we don't want to war.
Now, Uche, let me continue. Uche, please, Uche, excuse me. Uche, let me moderate, please. Uche, please.
What do you feel?
Uche.
We can be able to apply non-violence to achieve Biafra of our own. Because if you are trying to tell us, let us amend and live together, I know that those big heads who have been mismanaging Nigeria will not allow us to make sure that we, like in Onitsha port, we can make that place to be in port. We have a war here. In Imo State and
Uche, please, Uche, cut it short. I told you we have the callers online.
All of those places can be transformed into international airports and other rest of things. Are you telling us that after staying 100 years with all these resources, even last week I went to read P as India is 25 billion missing. So all these in this situation, are you telling us that we should do that country? Because I want in a country where we can be able to handle our own situation and solve it better in a language we can understand. Because if we can be able to have Biafra, that's what we are achieving, that's why we are working for Biafra, we can be able to put all these things in place within 3 years.
Okay, now Uche, that is enough. Uche, that is enough. Uche, did you please? That's I told you we have very many callers online. I'm the one blocking them. Now, let me say something. Chief Wazirike granted the interview to, I don't know if it is Silver Bed Television or so, some days ago. And the question was put across to him about Biafra agitation. He made it abundantly clear that Biafra agitation has two phases. One, if you cannot give me what I'm supposed to get from a federation I belong to, I will talk Biafra. But if you bring the national cake to a round table and we share it equally, there will be no need for Biafra. Chief Wazirike made it abundantly clear. And when I was asking question before, this question was put across to Major Hamza Mustafa, and he was unambiguous in the answer he provided. That the problem in Nigeria is because of the greedy elites. That these are the people who don't want any other person to benefit from their country's royalties. That the moment we come together in all sincerity and call these elites, this greedy, use the word greedy elites, call them to order. That even the issue of agitation, all these agitations from here and there will fizzle out. Where everybody is happy, nobody remembers anything. Look at Germany. For the past 16 years, one woman has been ruling Germany. He is not from Bayern, the richest zone in Germany. She is rather from the eastern part of Germany, one of the poorest zones. But because she betters the German economy, she has won for the 4th time to rule Germany. What Major is saying is this: assuming the youth will come together and have a front and call all these greedy laws to order. Uche, if you are house without, even if you don't have your own house, but government houses you, provides you with electricity, water, healthcare, whatever it takes to have life fulfillment. If anybody talks agitation, you say go and sit down. But where and when these are lacking, the possibility of agitating for a separate republic cannot be ruled out. This is what everybody is talking about. This is what you are talking. This is what Chief Wazirike is talking. This is what Ikenna is talking.
If you listen to Chief Dr. Wazirike in that interview, he tell you that he's not interested in Nigeria politics.
No, excuse me. Uche, hold on, please. Uche, hold on. Uche, I contract. Hold on, please. I listened to that. He said it has two phases. It has two phases. And the two phases are: give me what I want, I go home. If you don't want to give me what I want, I stay there and will iron it out. Remember, he made reference to Jonathan's regime. That there was a kind of piping down when Jonathan was there because we got our own share, in all honesty. The Igbos got their own share. Anybody who doesn't want to admit that is not being sincere to himself. Because Jonathan gave us all the opportunities. And these have been the things we have been crying for. When those things were there, the essence of talking marginalization is no longer there. But when those things are no more there, just like President Buhari has said now, World Bank concentrate on the north, this and that, 97% against 5%. Then the issue of Biafra comes to the fore. This is what we are saying. And what we are saying is in line with this. And I think it has been taken care of. Don't be offended, please. Because we don't have much time and we are here to find a resolution to a crisis benefiting the nation. Because if there is no resolution, the possibility of the country being plunged into a catastrophe cannot be ruled out. Let us not forget that majority of the people waiting for catastrophe, preaching violence in Nigeria or Biafra today, are living abroad. Major Hamza Mustafa, are you with me, please, sir?
Yes, I am.
Majority of people planning for war in the country, have their families abroad, have all their things abroad, most of them live abroad, enjoying lives of fulfillments in European and American gardens. But yet they want conflagration in the country. When this problem starts, they will switch off their phones, and those at home will not be able to reach out to them again. This is why we appreciate to mention there is no war in the country. There should be no war in the country. No matter what anybody is thinking, no matter what everybody wants, we do not want another war in that country, because war does not pay anybody. Those who are clamoring for war, sir, look at Syria. What is happening there? There is no life again in Syria. Go to Libya. There is no life in Libya again. Go to Myanmar. There is no life there again. Go to Iraq. It is a catastrophe of human experience. Check everywhere where there is crisis. Even in Sierra Leone, Liberia in those days, there is no life that is left to enjoy. Now, if this thing comes to Nigeria again, because of the selfish demands of the particular few, it will be volcanic. This is why we are making sure that we have to move from place to place, get the better people in the country who can understand the type of ideology that govern our area, Father Zikiwa, Ahmad Bello, Awolowo, and so on and so forth. If we can go back to that particular situation, Nigeria will be a better place. It is only where the 97% and the 5% come to the fore, only where the World Bank will concentrate only on one area and the neglecting the other, or where all the security apparatus are lost in the hands of a particular group, or oil wells are in the hands of a particular group. These are the things that fuel agitation. And Major Hamza Mustafa, sir, in your own capacity as a citizen, in your own capacity as a citizen, hold on, please. That is what you're saying. Hold on, please. This is what we're saying. So, where a particular group of people, is not getting their own share of the bargain, this is where agitation fuels. But where we take our own share, everybody lives happily. Major, sir, comment on this briefly.
But Baba, right from the beginning, I told you I have against any formula that denies people Baba. I told you what a word that comes around, I communicated the truth of that against my picture. Security of life and property of the entire people, and social justice and equality. We are still fighting for that. So if there is any injustice anywhere, take it from me, I'm against it. And we are not only staying there, but we are fighting hard to continue to educate and bring the youth together to understand that in our and the unity comes the solution of all these things we are crying about. My brother, the Indian Ralph and I, we do discuss sovereignty. He is my brother, just as these some other equal leaders are. I can stand to defend them, defend their rights as my brother and fellow citizens. That is the way we are supposed to live. The fact that he is an Igbo man, and the fact that I am a Hausa, God created us barbarians to know the difference in between us. What a Hausa man can defend his right, I am available. And my confidence and trust is that what he can do for me as an Igbo man, I know I have a brother worthy of trust, and nothing can separate us. We are brothers, we are Nigerians, we are united, we are progressive people. We care for people, we are not exploiting, we are not calling for war. Activities of war campaigning, stealing, are all vices known to weak people who should not be trusted in whichever form. Youth
Sorry, sir, I checked another thing. Just please, we excuse you that we lost contact with him. Let me get him online once again.
To copy the error 11.
Yeah, sorry, sir, we lost contact and we changed a telephone line. Go on, sir. Go on, please, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, go on, sir.
Okay. As I was saying, the issue of war is the last thing that I have had intense discussions with our next leader, CM Odumego, regarding war. I, as Secretary, I tested war. We became managers of Liberia. We were in charge in its force. We were its secretary. People who have not fought are those who separate. But when the sons of the poor are subjected to the killing, the sponsors are always behind our borders. They will not be there to tell the real. But we no longer be blinded again. Nothing will take us away from unity of Nigeria. We are brothers and sisters. We will protect this country. We will unite this country. All of us should come together. If Mustafa is the problem, then make sure to know. If one of those who are exploiting Nigeria, no matter how big, let us unite, use our number, put ourselves into power, and then use the law to contend them, so that there will be one prosperity approach. That is what, and then what the law has figured out, and then we can take back of them. In Germany, the examples we are given, in the absence of rule of law, in the absence of unity, the prosperous Germany you are making reference to cannot be. And I'm quick to tell you this small thing. The exploitative class have been operating one major cause of insurgency that no any country can take. Meaning, we are importing what we have, but we are exporting what we don't have. Everything is meant to be self-product. And the poor person is one suffering. And that is why we are now putting to say that the only solution out is for us to divide. No. Let us look into it specifically and then make sure that we can feed ourselves, build our country, defend it, and say no to those exploited Nigeria. So matter who they are. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, Sonny, Bobo, Emmanuel, you're online. Sonny, you have not online with us. Okay, please take your question. Everybody should make their questions very, very brief, please, because we are running out of time. Remember, Major Hamza Mustafa has been online with us almost getting to 2 hours now. We have to hurry up and then excuse him.
I'm Sonny Bobo, calling from Biafra. I thank you, my brother Ikenna, and my special thanks to our brother and friend in the person of Major Hamza Mustafa. Sir, I thank you very much for all your good relationship with the family of Massob and Igbo's in general. I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you for your efforts for the betterment of our people. I want to use this opportunity again to say a very big thank you For several times we have made it possible to visit our land and to show a solidarity support in every aspect of the struggle. But at the same time, I remember your word once time when you visited our headquarters here in People Memorial Day, when you said that you will like a situation whereby a bridge is built, a bridge of love and brother is built in between us. And at the same time, even if there is how to, we shall work as a brother and as a friend. We exchange things in common. In that aspect, I want to ask this question now. Since that the cause of all this agitation is because of agitation against the government.
Sorry, we are not getting you clear. Please change your position. Sorry, we are not getting. Sorry, excuse me, please. Sorry, please, we are not getting you clear. Change your position.
Can you hear me now?
Change your position, please. We are not getting you. Ask your question once again.
Hello, can you get me now?
Good. Take your question again. Please, take your question again.
So my question is that since the country cannot be fixed together, that things cannot be made normal, do you still have the belief that the only solution for our future is to disintegrate and we maintain our relationship as a brother and as a neighbor? That's my question, sir. Hello, my brother.
Yes, he is saying, since or if the country is not working, living together, is the option not to disintegrate and yet maintain that cordial relationship? This is what he's asking. But then, if the country would work, how do we do it?
I tell you just one simple answer. In advanced Nigeria, looking at it from public and private sector, one campaign of things like institutional decay as our major band. All these years, the opportunity came and went on to exploitative exercise. That's why we got the result. Nothing more. If only we can now get together, since it is democracy and now number of law, then I tell you with all sense of humility, you will see the other side of the country. Because today, clearly known that the greedy class of voting country. That's the position.
Yeah, that is true. Now, so you got what he's saying? That the country would have been a better place for us, but because of the greedy insistence of the few elites. Don't forget that when Professor Chukuma Soludo was addressing our people some time ago, he equally emphasized on the crimes being committed by the elites. Not so long ago, the former governor of Jigawa State, what's his name again? I've forgotten. The former governor of Jigawa State, he made it clear that the elites are the problem we have in Nigeria. These people have coveted power. They don't want you and me to survive. They take what belongs to you and me and keep for their children, their children's children, yet unborn, while we are here languishing in protracted poverty. But the moment these people are called to order, these greedy laws, the moment they are called to order, our country will be a better place. This is what everybody is saying. And I believe that. Let me be sincere with all of you who are listening to this particular program. This live broadcast is coming from Germany. That is where I am. I so much enjoy all the good things of life. It's just like a paradise annex. I lack nothing in Germany. I have it all. Accommodation, transportation, whatever form of infrastructure, whatever form of social amenities government has provided for you. Are you aware that in Germany today, if you lose your job, government will be paying for your house rent? Listen to me again. If you lose your job in Germany today as I'm talking, government will be paying your house rent. Apart from paying your house rent, government will be giving you money to feed your family until you secure another job. And until you secure another job, government will be helping you wherever there are vacancies, and the government will inform you. Apart from that, you go to a hospital, no matter the nature or degree of your ailment, you have a medical insurance or health insurance rather, free of charge. Everything here is for the interest of the people. On the strength of this, no German ever thinks of agitation, separation. They want a united Germany. And because Germany is moving, some other countries want to become part of the EU for them to benefit from the largest. In a situation where you exist in a particular country and everything is provided, even security, here in Germany, you can leave your house open, go to anywhere you like. After a number of weeks or months, come back. Nobody will enter your apartment. Nobody. Anybody who touches your door, they will find out. Security is provided. Everything is in a manifold diversity. Is Germany as rich as Nigeria is? Nigeria has whatever it takes to be a superpower. But just like the Major is saying, the greedy people who don't want you and me to survive have coveted everything. And they are happy that we keep on agitating. The more we agitate, the more we fall into a crisis, the more they benefit from us. Those of you who are conversant with the literary world, there is a book written by a Senegalese man, Amadou Hampataba, titled The Fortunes of One Grain. This lead character, One Grain, is somebody who likes creating confusion, crisis, for him to benefit from it. He likes creating confusion, crisis, for him to benefit from it. These are the elites of Nigeria. So when they create this problem, they benefit from you and me, trying to use what belongs to us to make peace. And you think we can continue to allow that? What Major Hamza Mustafa is saying, that enough is enough. We have to come together now, whether Biafra, Arewa, or Oduduwa. We have to come together, wherever you belong, to tell these elites eyeball to eyeball that enough is enough. We cannot continue to remain subordinate to them, slaves to them till infinity. We must take our own destiny in our hands and tell them enough is enough. I am here battling for my people back home. Upon the fact that I'm well accommodated, I have everything, but then the sympathy is for my people who are back home. If there is war, who is going to suffer? If it is calamity, who is going to bear the brunt? If there is hunger and inanition, who is going to suffer the whole thing? Because my people are there, I want a better life for them. And I am thinking that any well-meaning individual should come now and speak out for us to find a better place to live in, not just for us, but for our own children and children's children. Let us not be selfish. You were there, we were there, when the Major said a better constitution was enacted under Abacha regime for a transition to a better country. But somewhere along the line in 1999, those who thought they knew better had to change it and impose on us something that is quite unitary. Today the country has not come out of it. And somebody is telling us to accept it like that way. There must be a change, and a change must come. This is what we are saying. Please, let's call her online. And let me say, Ume Masils or Valentine Ugoja, are you there online with us still? Please speak up, please, because your voice is very, very faint. Let us hear you and where you are calling from. Please speak out. Your voice is very, very faint. That is what I'm saying. Your voice is very faint. If you can raise your voice, please, for us to hear you better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, louder.
Okay. What I have to say is this. Going from the discussion tonight, and we are talking about the airlines in Nigeria, and we have existed for, let me say, 100 years and 100 and some years. And these airlines have been on top of this country, cornering everything that has been coming in for all these years. Then, how do you think that this time around we will be able to deal with those airlines? Since we have not been able to deal with them for the past 100 and something years, so please, how do you think we can deal with them now?
That's a good question. That's a very wonderful question. Major Hans and Mustafa, you got his question? Okay. Okay. The question was this: that these elites have been there for more than 100 years, exploiting us the poor. How do you think that if we could not call them to order for the past 100 years, what is the possibility of calling them to order now and bringing them to justice for us to have a better country?
No, first of all, it didn't get Nigerian history right. The real exploitation of Nigeria started somewhere about 1874 in the truth. And then there are things that elite out. This will so, and when the rest we will point it out systematically for people to know. When election comes, all our brothers and sisters in diaspora should make sure that agreed candidates are voted for to come to power with specific vision and to now grow it and live like that is one way out. We are working very hard on this. Every day talking to our people, especially the youth members, to understand and to know that it's time to take a decision. In our vote, with collective direct, comes the you know, when a fly identifies the location of the honey, you have many options. Cover the honey, change the location of the honey, and then the fly where. That is the way it is in Nigeria. Hello?
Thank you very much, sir. Now, let me go to Ume Maslinus or so. I don't know who has the next question of any time. The next person should take over the floor, please. Your question. Make it very, very brief because we are running out of time. Valentine Ugoji, are you there? Okay, sorry, please. Ume Maslinus, are you there?
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, please. You can tell us why you are calling and ask your question, but please make it very, very brief because we are taking much time of the major, please.
I think I'm calling from Lagos, Nigeria. Right now, I don't think I have any question to ask, other than to commend Mustafa for all what they have been doing in order to feel that Nigeria move forward. I must say they should keep on being the best they can.
Yeah, that is true. Now, Major, what Ume Maslinus is saying is this. Of course, everybody loves agitation to be on their own, but if the system where you already exist promises you a better life, the devil I know becomes better than the angel I do not know. That is what he's trying to say. So, if we have a better country today, like it used to be when we were practicing regionalism, I bet you nobody should be talking about Biafra or Otidua or Arewa. Everybody should be talking about one Nigeria. So, this is what he's saying, and they still want to extract promise from you that in your own capacity as an insider, you will provide a good leadership where the components used for different regions will now come together and determine whether to be together based on certain agreements or to part ways based on certain agreements? Please comment on this.
Honestly, I think it's not such a right.
Yeah, he was making a suggestion anyway that if we can come together and agree that what belongs to John belongs to Mark as well, that is, we share everything equitably, nobody will be cheated. But for example, let me give you, sir, which I believe you know, today 80 if not 90% of oil wells belong to North, no person from the Southeast. Security Council today, no single person from the Southeast. Major appointments today, we don't have our people represented. We are still talking about the 97 to 5% interest. We are still again now talking about the World Bank projects. And upon that, every five of the governor of Kaduna State is talking of inequality in a country where the resources come from the eastern and southern part of Nigeria, like you rightly mentioned. Now, when pieces are brought together, the ordinary Igbo man will say it is either Biafra or death. We would want you briefly, sir, before we come to the end of the program, to, let me say, make a brief remark on this.
My brother, this country should remain united. We have all it takes to be. We should not bother about parents who got the opportunity but decided to exploit. We can count these people. We know them. The amount they have stolen, the amount they are stealing, opportunities they are destroying, making all our institutions to decay without law. Loans are for the poor and the rich are exempt. And so many of such practices are what goes on daily. So the lack of or the injustice some of the causes of the insurgency were promoted in Nigeria that I said no country can take. I give example with Germany where you are. They cannot tolerate, including the chancellor, to promote policies of insurgency against the will of the people. So we are looking for one united Nigeria where the powers go. So now come together and correct the ills and never again to allow such practice to rear its head. We are beautiful people, all of us well designed by God Almighty as Nigerians are. We have what it takes to be. But remember, any third world country that has the potentialities of Nigeria should be prepared to find enemies at home and with their collaboration. So the rich God has given us. Look at how the Indi Bola, Paul, and the red sun. That red sun is gold put together by brothers in Southeast alone, in but there are all the opportunities to build Nigeria. Besides, each of the 6 of has most the sun. And this is what, and then every Nigerian, wherever he or she is a prince or princess who must be served. That is what we want us to understand.
Okay, now, thank you very much, sir. One thing we have to say by way of conclusion is this. No general likes going to war because he understands what war means. Yeah. Former Israeli Prime Minister and a war general, Ishak Rabin, once said, I have fought a war, but whenever I hear the drums of war, I become afraid. When the enemy cries, the other side of the divide understands the meaning of that particular cry. That means somebody is dead. And when on your own side, somebody is dead, the enemy understands. Even Menakem Begin, one time easily Prime Minister said that he has fought very many wars, but he wouldn't like in his lifetime to experience another war. And there was no other war until he died. Back home in Nigeria, many of the people who fought during the 1967-70 civil Holocaust shudder at the commencement of war. Nobody would want it. Even I had Chukwemeka Odumegwu, our war general, saying, "Let my people not go to war again." And he instructed Chief Rafu Wazike never to drag his own people to war again, because war pays nobody. When we hear people talk of war, we think they don't know what they are doing. War does not mean ordinary fight between one family or the other. No. War is total devastation. Total devastation. Nothing works. Those who still talk of war conflict are not privileged to watching international television stations to understand what is happening today in Syria, in Libya, in Myanmar, in all these countries that have plunged into civil war. There is no life there again. When I watch television programs on daily basis, I shed tears for my fellow human beings. During the winter, because people are running for their lives, they live outside in the forest, shivering 24 hours, no food, no medicare. There is no house for them. They call their fathers, they cannot hear their voices. Their mothers cannot find their children cannot find their parents. And you say you want war. What we are saying is this, and this is what every Igbo man Biafra is saying. If today, Major Hamza Mustafa sir, persons like you with Les, with Chief Dr. Rafu Wazirike, and very many other meaningful individuals, and make sure that if it is something that belongs to everybody, let everybody share from it. But not only one person takes it home. This is where we find it unacceptable. So there is still time. As of now, we talk of Biafra and we mean it. But we still exist in Nigeria because our own flag is not yet flying at the United Nations in New York. Since it is not yet there, we are still subject to the laws of the land, whether anybody likes it or not. We still obey the constitution, everything we obey because we are part of the system. It's undeniable. What we are saying is, since we are still there, we are still part of that particular family, and we would want a situation where we come to a round table and say, out of 90% or 100%, Southwest, take this. Southeast, take this. South, North Central, Northeast, Northwest. And maybe at the end of it all, 10% remaining. We say federal government, hold this 10% for international affairs. Everybody shall be happy. You'll be surprised that if somebody mentions Ojuduwa or Arewa or Biafra, the next door neighbor will tell the person, go to hell. When we are happy, we forget acrimony. When we are not happy, we remember acrimony. This is what is holding Nigeria. Thank you very much, Major Hamza Mustafa. Very many callers are there, but now we have taken over 2 hours of your time. And if we continue, everybody would like to ask you questions. We would like to hold you further. We really appreciate your patience, your understanding, your commitment to everything that is quite ideal. And we wouldn't like you to relent in this particular struggle. Move on with the same pace, reach out to people that matter, and let us see if we can agree. But if we cannot agree, we know the options. Thank you so much for being with us. And let us pray that in the days to come, anytime we call on you to talk to us, please, sir, don't hesitate. We thank you once again, and may God bless you. Thank you 1,000 times, sir.
God bless you.
Kachifo indeed. So you can speak Igbo. That's very, very wonderful. Thank you, sir, and God bless you. Thank you so much, sir, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Fellow dear friends, it has been the voice of our special guest, Major Hamza Mustafa, who is right now in Kaduna, or let me say Abuja, speaking to everybody, not just Biafrans, but Nigerians generally. And he has been able to take a lot of our questions creditably, and we are indeed satisfied with him, while giving him further mandate to make sure that some of those aids that tend to bedevil the entire society, everything is brought to an end. And when we are together enjoying fearlessly unfeared, every form of violent agitation will come to an end. This is what we are saying. Everybody wants to be happy. But when happiness is denied the individual, other feelings might succeed. From the satellite station of the Voice of Biafra International, it has been the voice of your moderator, Ikenna Obibi Egono. I am from Imo State of Biafra land, by extension Nigeria. And I have to say, we thank all of you who have been part of this particular program, to Jude Chijoke, to Uchenna Okeke, to Valentino Gorgeous, Sodi Bobo, and host of others, Uchenna Digi, and Umema Linus. All those people who have been part of this particular program, even Louis, we are indeed appreciative and say, as we move on towards a better society, remain always awake, because we cannot at our door any moment in time to be of help. Thank you once again for being with us, and may God bless you. Good luck. Yeah, thank you, sir. We are through, and God bless you indeed.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, sir.
Thank you for the help.
Okay.
Thank you for the